Fusion Mobile, quality e-learning experience on the go.
Welcome once again to Fusion Mobile e-learning geography class, and we have been taking some topics in SS3 scheme of work. Today we are going to look at climatic change. Climatic change, or climate change as you may call it, is one of a topical issue now in both international and national issue. People are talking about climate change because we can feel and see the effect of this climate change within us. So because of that, we need to let ourselves know what is really what this climate change is all about. So I have a divination here. This is a concise divination of what climatic change is. I said it's defined as a change in the statistical properties of climatic system when considered over a long period of time. Is defined as the statistical properties of climatic, the change in statistical properties of climatic system when considered over a long period of time. Let me explain or it can be seen as a shift in a weather condition. When we're talking about weather and climate in our SS1 work, I did say that the difference between weather and climate is that the changes observed in weather is within days, a short period of time, but that of climate takes longer period, 30 to 35 years. Now, when you begin to see changes in the climatic element, in the weather element, like temperature, like rainfall, like wind, like atmospheric air pressure, like relative humidity within the atmosphere, where you begin to see the statistics, because you keep the statistics in meteorological station in NIMET, that is Nigeria Meteorological Agency. They record the statistics of this weather element on a daily basis. By the time they discover that there is a slight change, either negative or positive, either high or low, that is what we mean by climate change. Then it also can be seen as a shift in weather condition. And what caused this? What led to this climate change? We are going to look at them. Number one, we have the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is one of the cause. Number two, we have ozone layer depletion. When we're discussing environment in SS1, I did say that your action, my action, can affect this ozone layer. Ozone layer is like an umbrella. Maybe when there is rainfall, you enter the rain with your umbrella. What is the function of the umbrella? Umbrella is to protect you from the direct contact with either the rain or the sun. That is what ozone layer does. But because of your activities, the release of some obnoxious gases, the chlorofluorocarbons into the atmosphere, it affects and depletes this ozone layer. Therefore, it leads to the increase in temperature, excess increase in temperature, change in rainfall patterns. In those days, this is April 19th or April 20th, as the case may be. Do you know that in those days, this time, we are almost in the middle of rainfall, but look at heat everywhere. The effect of what we are saying is very obvious change in rainfall pattern. Then we have carbon emission from industries. Some people, some even the developed country, they look at the underdeveloped countries as a dumping ground for their condemned electronics, condemned, maybe handset and other gadgets that they think they are not useful in their own country and they are hazardous to the environment. What they do is that they'll ship this into the country like Nigeria so that it can add to what we are having. And in some areas where we have agglomeration of industry, they emit carbon into the atmosphere on a daily basis. Even if you go to the Niger Delta, where we have, oil companies, they flare this, gas flaring into the atmosphere, uncontrollable. And this add to the increment in temperature that we have every day. Number 4 is deforestation. Deforestation, as we said, is illegal cutting down of trees. Once you cut a tree down, things happen. Number 1, you expose the soil to excess heating of the solar radiation or the sun rays. That is deforestation. Once you cut down. Number 2, you expose the soil again to what we call water uptake. The excess of evaporation, it will now harden the soil. And number 3, you encourage the rate of erosion, soil erosion, because you have removed the vegetation cover that protect the soil. Either you want for firewood or for anything that is best known to you. But what you have done a lot of damages to the environment, and this can speed up the rate of climate change. So these are the causes of climate change. There may be more of this, but we are going to stop on this one. Then finally, we are going to look at the causes, the consequence of climate change. What are the consequences? What are the consequences? We just want to mention them because they are obvious. In the course of my discussion, I've given us 1 or 2 points. The consequence of climate change. Number 1, it can lead to what we call acute shortage of what? Acute shortage of food, lead to famine. Because when there is climate change, it will alter the rainfall pattern, which can lead to famine, lack of food. Go to Sudan, people are dying every day because of lack of food. The reason is because apart from the war that they are involved, the Southern Sudan, but we were told that up to 3-4 years now, they have not experienced rainfall. Why? Because of this problem of climate change. Children are dying every day of malnutrition because of what? No food. We are going to look at the consequences of climate change. The consequences of climate change, there are many, because we can even feel it right now. The change in temperature and so on and so forth. It's obvious that the consequence or consequences of climate change, they are here with us. We look at increase in temperature. We have discussed that. It's one of the consequences of climate change. Increase in temperature. We have, emergence of some disease as a result of this climatic change. Extinction of some species. Like we were told that dinosaurs is aquatic animals, but because of the climatic changes has driven these animals to extinction. And so also some animals within us that we know, early 80s, 70s, They are no more with us today because of what? The effects of this climatic change. Then we have desertification. Desertification or desert encroachment. Place that was not originally under desert controlled environment has been prone or thrown into desert-like activities. Why? Because, of climate change. So these and many more are the effects or the consequences of climatic change. Now, what do we do to this? How can we mitigate? How can we control? The best way to do it is what we are doing. Number one is what we call environmental education. Educate people about the activities that can affect, endanger the environment, so that you and I can sustain this environment for the future generation to come and meet the way it is. But when we continue to indiscriminately cut down trees, indiscriminately dump refuse without regard to the environment, then the concept of environmental sustainability will not be there. But since it is now a topical issue, both international and domestic, about this climate change, do your part, do my part, so that we can sustain this environment for our future generation.